business tax coach and wealth coach, the CEO and founder, alongside of my beautiful wife and business partner, Mrs. Levita Pyers, of the most incredible, one of a kind. Look, over 30 years, I have not found any other platform like the Academy of Financial Education, which is what I started to build starting in 2005, 2006, and going strong today, where we teach the masses, the W-2 wage earners, the 9 to 5ers, those that are working the gig jobs, what the school system has been forbidden to teach. One of the most intimidating subjects for most people, and that is, the more you know, the less you legally, ethically owe in income taxes. I'm taking this really slow because I want you to get what I'm telling you. You don't have to be in fear of the IRS. You don't have to feel like, oh my God, I want to do my part and pay my taxes. Okay? The system, the tax system was not designed in 1913. I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole. In 1913, the federal income tax was levied on the American people. I'm not here to beat up the government. I'm not here to beat up the IRS. I'm here to tell you that you have just been uninformed, misinformed about how you should legally and can legally, ethically, and morally, and you should do it with a smile, keep more of your hard-earned income from your paycheck in your pocket. In fact, the tax code was actually put in place to actually control how you and I use money. The problem is that the school system has been, for whatever reason, forbidden to teach it. They don't teach true tax education. Teaching someone or telling someone or educating someone that you are going to pay income taxes versus teaching someone or educating someone how to legally reduce the amount. I said legally, 100% backed by the IRS, 100% backed by the United States government, legally reduce the amount of federal, state taxes that you pay is a whole different story. See, some people think that when they hear me, I'm trying to encourage them not to pay the taxes that they owe. No, you should pay every dime in income taxes that you owe, and not one dime more. The problem is you don't understand what you actually have to pay. Now, that's not what this live stream is all about. But I want you to know, if you don't take nothing away, look, let me tell you something. If you don't take anything away, you don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe me. If you don't take anything away, I want you to know this. I want you to hear me, okay? I want you to get rid of anything you might be thinking. I want you to hear me. The only reason that you pay as much federal and state, for those of you that live in a state where you pay state income taxes, the only reason that you pay as much as you pay has nothing to do with the government, has nothing to do with the IRS. I'm telling you, look, if you can't take the truth, you might want to just click off. You're no longer going to be able to blame the government. You're not going to be able to blame the president. You're not going to be able to blame the IRS. You're not going to be able to blame the Federal Reserve. We can all go down that rabbit hole if we want, but I want you to know something that drives me to teach this information for absolutely free. See, nobody's paying me to do this. I want you to know, like Harriet Tubman of the Underground Railroad has said, I have freed thousands of slaves. I'm not calling you a slave, but I want you to really feel this, because if you don't get anything else that I'm going to say past this point, I want you to get this. I want you to not be in fear, because you don't have to be in fear. Okay, let me get to my point. The amount of money that you're currently paying or that is being taken from your paycheck in the form of federal and state income taxes. I don't want you to get this mixed up. We're only talking about federal and state income taxes. It is the only tax as an American that you and I can control how much we pay. Now, I know I'm going to get these folks that's going to say, no, look, I don't have any problem with paying my fair share in taxes. I agree with that, and so does Warren Buffett. In fact, Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world, has went on record multiple times to say that he pays, although he's a multi-billionaire, a less tax percentage than his secretary. And he says there's something wrong with that system. There's something wrong. This is Warren Buffett, okay? You can fact check me, okay? Go to Google, you can fact check me. Warren Buffett said there's something wrong with the fact that I pay a lesser tax percentage than my secretary, who earns thousands of dollars. However, I earn hundreds of millions of dollars. Why did I spend the last 6 minutes trying to drive that down? Because I want you to know that there's nothing to buy, there's nothing to try, there's no course for you to get from me. Okay, yes, I do have a platform where I teach this information directly from the IRS. People ask me all the time. They say, I've never seen anyone else that teaches this information directly from the IRS. Why did you choose to go down that route? I chose to go down that route because I learned directly from the IRS. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't want to be. Thank God I didn't spend that money to go to school to become a CPA. You know why? I'm not knocking my CPAs. Look, there's a place for CPA, but the school system at any level, whether it be college, whether it be high school, does not teach true tax education. Because tax education is understanding how to utilize the legal tax code to reduce the amount of income taxes that you pay. If the government did I wasn't even supposed to be talking about this. I'm way off of what I was going to talk about. Let me try to wrap this up really quick. Here's a question I always ask. If our government needed your federal tax dollars, here's a question. Why do you think they have a subject, a line item in the tax code called tax deduction? Let me explain what a tax deduction is, because a lot of people don't realize what it is. Let's say that you go to work and you earn $50,000, and the government says, if you pay, this is a bad example because I hate this example, but this is really what's happening to the so-called middle class, okay? If you pay $20,000, now you went to work and you earned $50,000 on your job, and you paid out of that $50,000, $20,000 in mortgage interest. Some of you are probably sitting back like $20,000. Well, if you live here in California, $20,000 in mortgage interest is normal. Do you know, in the right scenario, oh, that's such a bad example. That's such a bad example because after 2018, this does not even exist. But I'm gonna go ahead with the story. So you earn $50,000 on your job as a W-2 wage earner. You pay $20,000 in, let's say, mortgage interest and property taxes combined. Do you know, in the right situation, the government says that you can deduct that $20,000 from the $50,000, which means your taxable income is only $30,000. What's my point? For those of you that might be jumping in here late, what is my point? I'm trying to prove to you, if the government needed the federal taxes they take from you out of your paycheck, they would not have a line item called tax deduction. They wouldn't give you a tax deduction for paying mortgage interest on a house that you decided to go out and buy. I hope I hit that home for you, okay? My message here, guys, we are in some devastating times, okay? I'm not here to sell you on the hype. I'm not here to sell you on the doom and gloom. I'm here to tell you that no one is coming to save us. No one's coming to save you. No one is coming to save me but us, okay? Kamala Harris is not coming to save you. Donald Trump, I don't care whether you're voting left or right. I don't care whether you're voting red or blue. I live here in California, and there's two very well-known gangs in California. In fact, they've spread it across the United States, but let's use California. And they're called the Crips and the Bloods. The Crips represent blue, and the Bloods represent, you probably guessed it, red. And they fight each other. They fight each other, and they kill each other over neighborhoods, over zip codes that many of them don't even own any property in. Let me say that again. Again, wasn't a part of what I was going to talk about. Wasn't a part of what I was going to talk about. In California, there's two well-known gangs that has been in the United States or in California for decades, okay? They're called the Crips and the Bloods. The Crips represent themselves by the color blue. The Bloods represent themselves by the color red. I want you to think about that. And now I want you to think about the Democratic Party, and I want you to think about the Republican Party. Blue and red. Draw that connection. Fighting against each other. We're all Americans. We're all Americans. Why do we have this division? Okay? So I'm not here to get political on you. Kamala Harris, regardless of what her nationality is, doesn't matter. She's not going to save you. There's nothing she can do to save you. Okay? Donald Trump, there's nothing he can do to save you. Yes, there's some things that Donald Trump did that affected some Americans. But really, honestly, think about it. Think about it. What president has drastically affected your financial lifestyle? Yeah, there's some things that they can make bad regulations on, but at the end of the day, the president, I don't care who they are, woman, man, boogeyman, it doesn't matter. The president is not the deciding factor of your financial lifestyle. Rent is high as hell. Mortgages is egregious. Manipulation to the 10th power. Inflation, they tell you, has come down. However, the prices of inflation has not come down one bit. The purchasing power of your money has been dwindled down to the fact that when you walk into a grocery store, $100 bill spends like $2.20. Come on now, y'all know I'm telling the truth. You can't go in the grocery store with $100 bill and come out with $60 left. You can't do it. Why? Because of the valuing of the purchasing power of your money. They're not going to teach you this. Let me give you a pointer. What can I do about that? You need to start learning. You need to start learning about why and when our money was backed by this: physical silver and physical gold. Because I'll tell you right now, and I'm going to do a video about this because someone asked me the question when I related this to a video that I did about a $800,000 house me being able to buy that $800,000 house for $300,000 in real money. I'm not going to get too deep in that rabbit hole. So I'm going to do a video where I break that down with a visual, because the problem is I'm verbally talking now, and 90% of what I'm going to say is going to go over a lot of people's head. See, we have been so spoiled with this TikTok syndrome. Okay, we give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me now, and that's why we can't get ahead. Okay, so I want to give you 5 things to consider. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not a financial advisor. Everything that I'm going to say is my personal opinion, although it's documented and proven. I want to give you 5 things to think about, because as you see, or you may have heard, the stock market on Monday took a nosedive. Okay, many people lost money in their 401ks, their IRAs, and their investment accounts. Okay, look, Warren Buffett said it best. See, we have been so taught to be in fear. This fear-mongering information that we're getting from the AKA the idiot box, the TV set. Okay, that the market's crashing. There's a recession coming. We've been in a recession since 2020. We've been in a recession when the meat prices quadrupled. We've been in a recession since the house prices have went up 40 and 50%, and the house didn't get any bigger. The house didn't leave the neighborhood. The house is actually, from a structural perspective, worth less. However, the price is double. I'll pause for a minute so you just take that in. The house didn't get any bigger, but that $400,000 house in 2020 now it's costing you $600,000 and $800,000. Now I'm talking about California. You can reference what area you currently live in. I know prices of real estate are different around the entire United States. I'm not here to talk about real estate prices. I'm here to share with you that we've been bamboozled. Who is we? The so-called middle class. There's no such thing as a middle class. Okay? And if you ever accepted the title of being called the middle class, I want you to take a quiet moment and think to yourself, why would I ever want to be last? Why would I ever want to be in the middle opposed to being on top? See, they tell us things so many times that we start to accept it. We start to accept it in our mind. It becomes our norm. The hell you mean middle class? No, I'm not middle class and I'm not low class. I'm at the top. I'm striving to be at the top, not in the middle. If you think about anyway, number one, the first thing I want you to do is I want you to think about the bank in which you have your direct deposits going to, where you have your money going into, where you have your money sitting. I want you to think about that bank, and I want you to ask yourself a very simple question. How much interest are they paying you on the checking account and the savings account? I'm not talking about a CD. I'm not talking about an investment. How much is your bank paying you in the form of interest to have your money in that bank? If you tell me that it's less than 1%, you need to email me. I'm talking about just your paycheck being deposited into that bank. How much is that bank paying you? Number 2, every American needs to have a brokerage account. Every American needs to have a brokerage account. I'm not going to break all this down in this video. I'll come back and I'll follow up because obviously it's getting dark out here. Every American needs to have a brokerage account. Number 3, dear to my heart, every American needs to get educated in understanding what their tax liability is. And you should know that number in January, so you can legally understand how to reduce that amount of taxes that you're going to lose because of the lack of knowledge. See, the highest tax you're ever going to pay is called the ignorant tax. Number 4, you need to pay off everything that has interest tied to it. You need to pay off every credit cards, student loans, auto payments, anything that you have that has a interest tied to it. You got to get rid of it. The Bible says that the borrower will be slave to the lender. I see people getting all excited. Oh, the Federal Reserve is going to cut interest rates. All that means is that somebody's going to go out there and get into debt. God said, my people are destroyed from the lack of knowledge. But he also said the borrower will be slave. You will be a slave to whoever you borrow money from that has interest tied to it. I'm just telling you. Okay, you say, well, Mark, how am I going to do that? Number 1, the fastest way to increase your income, you don't get anything that I said. Get this as I get ready to wrap this up. The fastest way for you to increase your income without getting a second job, a part-time job, doing Uber or some side gig is to get educated how to keep the money you're already working for on your main 9-to-5 job by doing what? Reducing the amount of federal and state income taxes being extracted from your income and understanding how to legally do that. That's the fastest way for you to give yourself a $300, a $400, a $500, a $600. I had a guy give himself an $1,100 a month pay raise off of what I just told you, because he got tax informed. He did a consultation with me. He has saved $1,100 a month in taxes ever since, legally, ethically, and morally. Don't let your CPA lie to you. Okay, I teach everything directly from the IRS. I show you the documentation, so you don't have to worry about having a conversation with anybody. Okay. The last one I want to tell you, I already mentioned it. You need to be saving, not investing. You need to be saving. I'm not your financial advisor. You need to be saving a portion of your paper dollars in physical silver and gold. Why is that, Mark? I don't have a lot of time to talk about it. But if you had learned this information in, let's say, 2015, 2016, when the pandemic hit and inflation went through the roof, you would have not felt the effects of inflation, because that silver and gold would have protected the purchasing power of your money. That although don't miss this. Don't miss what I'm about to say. Although the prices of meat increased, so did the value of your real money. That our currency in the United States used to be backed by silver and gold. Silver and gold is not an investment. In fact, most people have no idea. Millennials have no idea that our currency actually at one time was backed by silver and gold, and why it's not anymore. In fact, most of you probably couldn't explain to me why. You know why? Because my people are destroyed from the lack of knowledge. And the 1% that controls this country understands if they can keep us dumbed down, and they can keep feeding us the propaganda, and they can keep feeding us all of that crap through the TV set and the news station that's controlled by the 1%, that will simply let them pull us around like a bull with a ring in their nose. And I'm telling you that Kamala Harris and Donald Trump is not going to save you. The only person that's going to save you is you. You gotta get informed. So it's starting to get windy. It's definitely got dark, guys. No, I am not this dark-skinned. But anyway, I had to get this message out. If you have not subscribed to this channel, subscribe to this channel. Make sure that you share this information out. If you disagree with me, I want to hear your thoughts inside of the comments of this video. Okay? Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know where I'm off. But if you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Hit that little bell. Say, I want to be notified every time that this guy goes live. Because, guys, what I'm going to be sharing with you over the course of the next few months or so is going to be life-changing. Because we're in trying times. I'm telling you right now. Again, not here to sell you on hype. Not here to sell you on doom and gloom. Here to sell you on the reality that it's time to wake up. And with that being said, Mark Pyers, home-based business tax coach and wealth coach, CEO and founder, guys, it's time to wake up. I put my email inside of the description of this video if you want to email me, if you want to learn how to legally, ethically, and morally reduce your taxes, if you want to be able to learn how to know, Mark, how much taxes is the government saying that I will owe come April of 2025, and what can I do to legally reduce that? We can go through those numbers. Again, I teach directly from the IRS. So the documentation always beats the conversation. And with that being said, guys, we'll see you on the next video. Remember, guys, to share, hit the thumbs up for this video so most people that will never see this video could have an opportunity to see it. And I'll see you guys when the sun comes up because it got dark.